I think it's extremely important that people all over this country speak out and stand up. I don't care if this is not about being a Democrat or Republican. This is about being an American. This is against the values that we treasure, that makes America great. Now, you're a governor of what state? What political party? What are your beliefs? Oh, we got to check this off. We got to check into this. This is insanity.
I just finished an interview with former Assemblyman Dov Hikind. We spoke about Ron DeSantis being banned from the Jewish History Museum in New York and what impact that has and how it's politicizing the Holocaust. Please check out this interview. So, for those who don't know you, who's Dov Hikind and what do you do?
I'm still trying to figure that out.
I mean, I know a bit. I've been following you. I'm 26, but I've been following you most of my life as a child.
Look, I was active in the Jewish Defense League when I was young, fighting for Soviet Jewry and the Jewish people against anti-Semitism. Then I got elected and served for 36 years in the New York State Assembly, the state legislature, 36 years. And after I left office, I started an organization. That was not my plan, but things over the last 3 years in terms of anti-Semitism were out of control. So we have an organization called Americans Against Antisemitism. Speaking out, tough, strong, proud. But what's happening in this country, in this great country of ours, in terms of hate, is just beyond belief.
Yeah, so I remember, well, all of my childhood watching you fighting for Jews. I wasn't around in the Jewish Defense League, but I have done my research on it, and especially in the Russian Jewry with Meir Kahane and all of that.
Right.
Regarding the Museum of Jewish Heritage banning Governor Ron DeSantis, what are your thoughts on that? Like, how did that happen?
Bizarre, hard to believe. Many reporters, when they first heard the story, they couldn't believe it. They said, how's that possible? You have the governor of one of the major states in this country, I would say that DeSantis is one of the great friends of the state of Israel and the Jewish people in this country, without any question. We don't have to agree on all positions that we have in order to tolerate people in their positions. Disagree, but the idea that the museum in New York, which is all about the Holocaust and it's all about tolerance, to do just the opposite, to be intolerant, is mind-boggling. I mean, it's something I can't put my head around. Why they would do something so pathetic and sick that goes against everything they are all about. One of the excuses they gave is, they don't do politics at the museum. And then, of course, it was pointed out that AOC was a speaker at the museum, a vicious hater of the state of Israel, supporter of BDS, and many others, political people, Schumer, et cetera, et cetera. You got to be the right political party and have the right views to speak at the Museum of Jewish Heritage. It's crazy. They aren't saying much publicly now. It's going to start getting a lot more attention. This is not what America is all about. It's that simple. And especially a Holocaust museum doing this to a governor who, as I said, is one of the leading friends of the Jewish people in this country and friends of the state of Israel. Really, right up there, like Donald Trump, I would say. No difference. Real great friend. Banning him because you don't like his views, because you disagree with his views, it is a very sad commentary on what is going on in this country.
Yeah, I agree. As a Floridian, a new Floridian, and as a Jew, I moved to Florida. It's been nothing but great. The governor is a great friend of Jews in Florida and in the state of Israel. Do you think the politicization of the Holocaust and the Holocaust, well, it's a Holocaust museum, so essentially the Holocaust, where do you see this going? Like, you think that that is well, obviously it's a bad thing, but where do you?
I think, well, I think it's extremely important that people all over this country speak out and stand up. I don't care if this is not about being a Democrat or Republican. This is about being an American. This is against the values that we treasure, that makes America great. Uh, now, you're a governor of what state? What political party? What are your beliefs? Oh, we got to check this off. We got to check into this. This is insanity, absolute insanity. And and again, people have to speak out. And those who are contributors, I know a number of elected officials in New York, like member of the City Council Ina Vernikov and Joe Borelli, the minority leader, others have made it clear that they are going to withdraw money, financial support. That's another thing, by the way, I have to tell you. The museum receives a tremendous amount of money from government sources. How can they discriminate? How can they do this? Government money helps the museum exist. So how do you discriminate against people who have a different point of view? The irony really is, it's the hypocrisy. It really is. It's the double standard of the Democratic Party, the radical left wing of the Democratic Party. They talk about values. They talk about, they talk the talk, but forget it. They're just full of it. I mean, they're so freaking dishonest about things. They talk about respecting other people's point of view, that this is, freedom of speech, freedom of expression, as long as the speech agrees with their point of view. DeSantis, nah. Holocaust Museum, banning DeSantis, you can't have your event at the Holocaust Museum? Oh my God.
And you were elected many times as a Democrat. Your political career, you were elected as a Democrat. So you're not coming from the so-called far right. You're coming from the Democratic Party calling this out.
Well, look. I am still a Democrat, and but I'm a sane Democrat. I'm not a blind Democrat. I mean, every American, whatever party you are from, you need to be honest with what's going on in this country. And right now, unfortunately, the Democratic Party has gone over the cliff. The Democratic Party is committing suicide, but slowly. So you want to be a Democrat, you want to continue being a Democrat, register as a Democrat, fine. But I am so disappointed with what is going on in the Democratic Party. And the worst part of it is, the anti-Semites in the Democratic Party, Omar and Tlaib and AOC and Corey, there's so many. I mean, Corey Bush and so on and so forth. That's one thing. I can deal with them, okay? The hard part is dealing with the so-called respectable people in the Democratic Party, the Nadlers, the Schumers, and so on and so forth, who are silent, who don't do the right thing, who don't stand up. I mean, everyone should speak out and say, it is wrong to ban the governor of Florida. It is insane to do that. I mean, it is a slippery slope. Does that mean Schumer going to Florida cannot speak at certain venues because he's too liberal? I mean, what are we doing in this country? I mean, we're slowly but surely, God forbid, destroying this country if we behave in this fashion. If the governor of Florida cannot speak at a Holocaust museum, we are in worse trouble than I thought.
I agree. And this isn't a new issue that the Jewish or so-called Jewish organizations are left-wing. This has been an issue for years and years, and they don't align with the average Jew. They're far left. Is there anything that can be done to make sure these organizations are more aligned with the average Jew?
Look, all we can do is speak out and stand up and be strong and be tough. David Friedman, Ambassador Friedman, just wrote an article on Fox, which everyone should read, where he basically talks about that we need to start, that the organizations fighting anti-Semitism out there, it's the same old, accomplishes nothing, going in circles. We need to be strong and tougher and go after the anti-Semites. We in Americans Against Antisemitism, we do that, but everyone needs to do that. We need to go after the bad people, the anti-Semites, not let them rest, not let them get away with what they are doing. So there's a lot more to do. Everyone needs to be involved, because what is going on in this country, the idea, I have to tell you that many people ask me, and it's a sad question that they ask me, how much time do we have left in America? Jews ask me that question. It is so sad to hear that. My own family, my father was in forced labor camps. My mother went to Auschwitz in 1944 with her family. Her mother, other members of the family went straight to the gas chambers the day they arrived at Auschwitz. The idea that people in America, Jews, have to wonder how much more time do we have in this country? I mean, that is a very sad situation. And unfortunately, Jewish organizations are just missing in action. They all, everybody condemns anti-Semitism. What courage it takes to condemn anti-Semitism. Even Omar and Tlaib, they condemn anti-Semitism, and they are anti-Semites. So we need to go to a new level. We need a new approach. The old one is not working.
Yeah, my family members, my grandmother's sisters, half sisters, were killed in the Holocaust. They were killed, and I spent Pesach with my grandparents, and they're alive and well. But my great grandparents, they had the numbers in their arms. They survived the Holocaust, and for things like this to happen, making the Holocaust political, for me, I look at it and it's outrageous. Any other comments you have about this topic?
No, you're right. It's politicizing the Holocaust. When a Museum of Jewish Heritage dedicated to remembering the tragedy of what happened to the Jewish people, and when you behave in the way the Nazis behaved, and when you start banning people, I mean, we're again, I repeat, this is the governor of Florida. And the Jewish communities in Florida, they are the greatest fans of Governor DeSantis. And the reason is a very simple one, because they consider him a great friend, because he's been there for them. Florida is doing great in every single way in this country. And the Jews are moving to Florida.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons they love the governor. They've got a great leader in Florida. So very sad what's going on, and people need to speak out. They need to stand up.
And tell me, what is the latest thing that Americans Against Antisemitism has been working on?
Well, first of all, we're coming out with an amazing book, 550 pages, on anti-Semitism, but it's like nothing that exists. And it's also visual, where as you read many parts of the book, you can use an app on your phone and watch the videos of the things you're reading about. It'll be out in about a month. Very, very exciting. It's received tremendous support. And as I said, it takes a lot of guts to say to you and to your audience, there's nothing like this book on anti-Semitism coming out from Americans Against Anti-Semitism. When you see it, you will want it. Every family, Jew, non-Jew, young people, it will give you the tools to be able to understand and to stand up and speak out and know your stuff. You got to know what you're talking about if you're going to stand up, whether you're a student at a university, et cetera, et cetera.
Since recording this interview, the Museum of Jewish Heritage came out with a statement regarding this topic, and in part it reads, "We welcome Governor DeSantis and elected officials from across the spectrum to visit the Museum of Jewish Heritage." Others on social media pointed out, though, that the museum never denied the fact that Governor Ron DeSantis was denied a platform to speak, but rather the museum is allowing him to visit, versus other Democrat politicians have spoken at the museum. New York City Councilwoman Ina Vernikov announced that the council has pulled money from the museum over this. She also said on Twitter on Friday, "Not buying this. There are multiple reports, including staff was against this. Will you allow Governor Ron DeSantis to speak at the Museum of Jewish Heritage?" And so far, I have not seen the museum reply on that. If there's any more updates on this story, they will be linked below. If you liked watching this interview and want to see more of Rebel News, please check out rebelnews.com. Thank you.